Job 11. Zophar, an appeal for repentance. Then answered Zophar the Naamathite and said, should not the multitude of words be answered? And should a man full of talk be justified? Should thy lies make men hold their peace? And when thou mockest, shall no man make thee ashamed? For thou hast said, my doctrine is pure, and I am clean in thine eyes. But oh, that God would speak and open his lips against thee, and that he would slew thee the secrets of wisdom, that they are double to that which is known. Therefore that God exacteth of thee less than thine iniquity deserveth. Canst thou by searching find out God? Canst thou find out the Almighty unto perfection? It is as high as heaven. What canst thou do? Deeper than hell. What canst thou know? The measure thereof is longer than the earth and broader than the sea. If he cut off and shut up or gather together, then who can hinder him? For he knoweth vain men, he seeth wickedness also. Will he not then consider it? For vain man should be wise, though man be born like a wild ass colts. If thou prepare thine heart and stretch out thine hands toward him, if iniquity be in thine hand, put it far away, let not wickedness dwell in thy tabernacles. For then shalt thou lift up thy face without spot, yea, thou shalt be steadfast and shalt not fear, because thou shalt forget thy misery, and remember it as waters that pass away. And thine age shall be clearer than the noonday. Thou shalt shine forth, thou shalt be as the morning, and thou shalt be secure, because there is hope. Yea, thou shalt dig about thee, and thou shalt take thy rest in safety. Also thou shalt lie down, and none shall make thee afraid. Yea, many shall make suit unto thee, but the eyes of the wicked shall fail, and they shall not escape, and their hope shall be as the giving up of the ghost. Here is the explanation of chapter 11. Zophar, apparent grace. Zophar was the least sensitive of the friends and least differential to Job. He launched a brutal attack on Job and returned to the question of, can a human being be righteous? Zophar argued that a revelation from God would condemn Job, for when God passes by, he imprisons humans and condemns them. The verb kalab was used by Eliphaz to refer to an apparition of the spirit that spoke to him, and now it is used by Zophar to state that when God approaches humans, he brings a message of condemnation. God for Zophar can only condemn human, as Eliphaz's spirit argued. Zophar had continued insisting that empty talk would not vindicate anybody. He said that Job had mocked, but it is not clear when such a thing took place. Other speakers had levelled no such accusation. Since Bildad, Job had spoken of God's power and Job's impotence before it, lamented his life, and longed again for death. The book of Job also does not support Zophar's accusation that Job had claimed that his teaching was pure. It seems improbable that Job had made such an assertion. Misattribution on Zophar's part seems more likely, since someone had spoken hypothetically of Job being pure. In contrast with Zophar's claim, the reader may consider Job's recent attitude of humility before God. Zophar's accusation, significantly uncharacteristic of Job's language, mood, and tone, is more illustrative of the passion and blunder of human arguments in the name of God. In the first part of verse 6, the Hebrew word kippel The double has been variously rendered in context as they would double your prudence. True wisdom has two sides, or he is manifold in understanding. The last part of the verse literally refers to the idea that God has forgotten some of Job's iniquity and has been rendered as Zophar saying that Job has received less punishment than he deserved from God. Zophar claimed that God might properly be punishing Job more severely. He expounded on God's greatness and also the wickedness and deceit of some humans. His language soared as he extolled God. He used a proverb to describe the difficulty of those who were foolish to become wise. It was less likely than a donkey's colt being born as a human. Zophar spoke of hope and repentance in his final segment, like Eliphaz and Bildad. He assured Job that repentance would bring him deliverance from his present suffering. His guilt has brought him divine wrath, but his case was not hopeless. The abomination that Job should stretch out his hand toward God described an act of adoration and supplication and is a frequent Old Testament expression. Wickedness or evil is there personified as a conscious being that should not be a welcome occupant in Job's home. Zophar then suggested that Job could return to his former life if he were humble and repentant. Then Job would be able to forget his troubles. They would be like water that had passed by. Zophar sought to make a positive application of Job's pessimistic smile of vanishing water. He suggested that Job's misery would disappear as completely as water does when a wadi dries up. He would then be able to cough, dig, or search, followed by rest in safety. This suggests searching or checking and finding everything in order. This would mean the end of Job's tormented nights, failing eyes, and listed among the curses of Deuteronomy that would befall God's unfaithful people.